how do you feel after hearing what's been said today?
I'm feeling quite disheartened today. I came here with quite high hopes, thinking that this could be something positive towards helping my son with his needs, and after today it seems it's not actually going to be what it was all expected to be made out to be.
What were you expecting?
It would make a lot more children available to getting that extra help they need, the extra one-on-one need or extra additional needs that they require would be available to them, because a lot of the time it's based on education, the statement at the minute. So I thought health and social care planning, get more help around break times and that, but again it seems to all to be only if the school thinks it's what is needed. So again it's going to be more stumbling blocks and again money.
Andrea, how do you feel after hearing what's been said at today's conference?
I like the words and I like the rhetoric, but I want to see it translated into practice.
Do you think there'll be difficulties around that coming into practice?
I think it will be a very difficult route because I think there's hearts and minds involved, and you can say whatever you like, but the professionals involved need to be convinced and they need to incorporate it in their day-to-day practice.
Do you think your children and young people will benefit if the system comes to fruition?
If it comes to fruition, then it will undoubtedly be more coherent, and it will undoubtedly save telling the story so many times, and they will, yes, have a better offer, but I'm afraid my doubts remain.
Do you have a message to the professionals who are trying to move this forward?
Listen to the parents, listen to the people who know their children and can articulate their needs.
Thank you very much. Jackie, how do you feel after what you've heard today at the conference?
Excited. I think it's a very important time for families with children with additional needs. There's a lot happening, but there's a lot happening for the better, and hopefully it will lead to being more coordinated for services and having more information for families in one place that's more open and transparent. So although I think there's an awful lot of work to do, and I do think that it's hard to get that message out to families across such a big rural region as well, that there's very much a starting point, and there's something to build on that will make it better for the future.
Do you think Northumberland is running on par with other local authority areas in sort of where they are in this process?
I think it's very much depends on what local authority area you come from and whether you're a more rural area than an urban area. Obviously in our region some of the Pathfinder areas are further forward, but that is what they've been given extra money for, and for other local authority areas to learn from. But I do think it's quite worrying at how few parents still seem to know about some of those changes, and maybe some of the other areas have been better at their information sharing, but that may be because those areas are more urban, so it's easier to get that network. So, I mean, one of the reasons that we're here as Contact a Family is to make sure that parents and carers do know what's happening nationally, what their rights are, and also to be able to signpost people. That's why we very much work in partnership with the parent forums and would want to make sure that we've got the information and the guides available for families to know what their rights are. So I would always say, you know, get in touch with us if you're not sure about what your rights are and your entitlements. Please get in touch with us at Contact a Family in the North East, and we can point you in the right direction.
Thank you very much, Jackie.
My pleasure.
Jane, you're new to this post in Northumberland. Would you like to tell me a bit about what you're going to be doing?
Yes, certainly. I'm really pleased to be working in Northumberland and working with parent carers in Northumberland. What I've got to do is to work with local authorities, health, education, social care, parents and carers, children who live and work in Northumberland, and help them to implement the special educational needs and disability reforms that are coming into place from the 1st of September. What that means is that we need to be working with everybody so that we've got children with special educational needs and disability are able to access an educational healthcare plan from September, which replaces the statement process, and we need to develop a local offer so that parents can access the support and information that they need to support them and their families. And also we need to work on personalisation so that whatever support we provide for families, parents can have an option of a personal budget if that's relevant throughout the education healthcare plan process.
And after today's event, how do you feel about what you've heard? Your parents are quite passionate about what is happening to their children.
I think first and foremost, I think there seems to be a lack of awareness to any great extent of what's happening with the reforms, because whilst I've just said a little bit about the reforms, they are quite complex, they are complicated, and there's much more to it than that. And I think we need to do more to spread the message, but also to get parents involved in the development, because as professionals, we don't want to prescribe what's going to happen in Northumberland. We need parents and carers to actually help us to drive it, because it's your experience and you and your child that are the most important things, not the services that are provided. I also think there's a lot of certainly on the table that I facilitated, we were able to identify some gaps in services, whether it's geographical or whether it's about specific services, so we need to feed that into the plans going forward.
Yes, I understand that many parents feel that it could be a bit of a postcode lottery,
Yes,
depending on where you live in Northumberland as to what services are going to be available.
Absolutely, and we need to make sure that doesn't happen. And the development of the local offer should help to minimise that. But we also need to be thinking about how we do make services equitable. Just because you live in one particular rural part of Northumberland should not disadvantage you from accessing services.
That's really good to hear. Thank you, Jane.
And just to say, we will get there for September the 1st. The reforms will come in, and hopefully we will see a very different experience from what some of the parents said today, and much more positive and much more focused on the child and the family's outcomes.
That would be brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.